I want to speak to you face to face today about your province and your future. In this year's election, you'll make a decision that will profoundly affect you and your family for many years. You have a choice to continue building up British Columbia or let the Gordon Campbell Liberals and Jack Weisgerber Reformers tear it down. The extremist governments in Alberta and Ontario have launched an all-out assault on Medicare, social programs, and the middle class. You and I cannot let the extremists take over in BC too. But it could happen here unless we work together to win the next election. Everywhere I go in BC, people tell me they fear that our Canadian values are being destroyed. And people should be afraid. I'm afraid when I hear Campbell and Weisgerber calling for a massive tax cut for banks and corporations. I'm afraid when I hear that Campbell wants to cut $3 billion from BC's budget. That's nearly twice the per capita cut in Mike Harris's Ontario. You and I should be afraid because the Liberals and Reform will pay for their corporate tax cuts by cutting government services, education, and your healthcare system. I believe you can't build a country by dismantling Medicare, education, and social programs. I believe you build a country and a province by protecting and creating jobs, by making people feel safe in their homes and on the street, by making sure that when you need health care, it's there for you. You've already seen how we build for the future. During our government, we've seen more job creation than in any other province. And we're looking to the future with strong support for post-secondary education. We've been building BC with projects like the Vancouver Island Highway, the West Coast Commuter Rail Service from Mission to Vancouver, and an exciting new program for BC Ferries. Under the NDP government, we now have the best credit rating and the lowest per capita debt in the country. You've seen a major change in the way forests are managed, so both jobs and your environment are protected. We've created more parks over the last 5 years and protected more wilderness area than any other provincial government in Canadian history. The NDP reduced or eliminated Medicare costs for 500,000 low-income British Columbians and protected services despite federal transfer cuts. Our determination to bring a fair settlement to land claims has led to the landmark agreement with the Nisga'a people. We've doubled the number of daycare spaces so families can work and feel their children are safe. That helps our economy and it helps children and parents. And we brought in a school lunch program for children in lower income communities so they get proper nutrition. We've done a lot, but there's much more to accomplish. These economic gains and progressive programs, and those we'll make when re-elected, are all at stake. Just take a look at who is behind the Reform and Liberal parties. Jack Weisgerber sat in Van der Zam's cabinet. Gordon Campbell nominated Van der Zam for mayor in Vancouver in 1984. Just look at their consultants and party officials, former Van der Zam and Mulroney friends. New party names, but the same old faces and the same extreme right-wing ideas. You and I can't let them destroy the foundations of Medicare and social programs, but they will if they win the next election. You know, despite the severe federal cuts and transfer payments, the BC NDP has preserved our healthcare and education systems while being sensitive to new economic constraints. Our party fought for and introduced Medicare to Canadians. Our roots are in social justice and providing security for people. I believe there's only one way to preserve the gains we've made and build a better future for BC. You and I must work together to re-elect an NDP government, to continue building our province, or suffer under the policies of the opposition. I've spent a lot of time as an NDP volunteer over the years. I know it's hard work, but I ask you to consider volunteering in the election, because ultimately this election is about values. Canadian values of compassion and caring and serving the interests of all people, not the elite few. And this election is about your future, because the people you elect directly affect your life and the lives of the people you love. In order to preserve Medicare and education, to create and protect jobs, and to make people feel safe in their homes, we need a second term. But the NDP can only win the next election if we raise enough money. I'm afraid it's just that simple. We need to raise $700,000 in the next few weeks just to organize advertising and be ready for the campaign. You and I have an enormous challenge and a great opportunity ahead of us. Together we will win the next election and continue to build a province that cares about its citizens and their future. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and thank you again for your support. We, British Columbia New Democrats, have before us an enormous challenge and an enormous opportunity to make a difference. We can show Canada we do have a choice. We do have an alternative. But I need your help to make this happen. With your help, we can do it together, and with your help, we will win the next election. Thank you.
You are one of the BC NDP's best supporters. To win the next election, we need your generous help once again. Please fill out your reply form and mail your donation today. Or, to make a credit card pledge, call our toll-free number 1-888-VOTE-NDP. Thanks again for your support, and please send your donation today.